Hi everybody, I am on a roll. This is my second video. Earlier I did my sewing room tour and now I'm doing my favorite must-have sewing tools video. I'm going to start over here in my ironing corner because I think it is crucial that you press as you go when you're sewing for quality results, and that means having a good iron and ironing board. And you don't have to spend a lot of money, but this ironing board is very stable. It's extra wide. It's got a nice little rack at the bottom, and it has a resting spot for my iron, which is safe. It doesn't melt. This ironing board, I think it was about $100, so that to me that's pricey. But I think it's worth every penny. I couldn't, for the longest time I wanted it, but I just couldn't justify like $100 for an ironing board. That seems really crazy. But honestly, I'm so glad I got it. It is amazing. And my iron, which needs to be cleaned, is from Rowenta. It's great. It has a lot of steam. It's kind of heavy, which is what you want. And the thing, what sold me on this particular iron is that it doesn't shut off, so it stays on all of the time. Now that is kind of scary because we can walk away without unplugging our iron, but I do have a solution for that, and that is to have an adapter to which it's plugged into, and it's Wi-Fi, and you can download an app on your phone. So if you drive off and you're like, oh gosh, did I unplug the iron? You can just go onto your app and turn it off, and I'll show you what that is. I actually have my adapters over here. So that's actually going to fall into one of my favorite sewing tools, even though it's not really a sewing tool. So you see, you just sync it with your Wi-Fi using the app. And I got these on Amazon. It's a 2-pack. I think it was like $10 or something because they were on special. I will leave it in the link or the description box below in case you're interested, but this kind of has to just fall into this video because, so we'll put this guy over here. This is also another favorite sewing tool of mine. I am powered by flavored bubbly waters because I love bubbles and there's no sugar, but there's flavor because I don't drink enough water. So anyway, I'm rambling. Okay, so these are my favorite tools. Now, I am certain that all the other sewing YouTubers always talk about them, and that's fine for good reason, because you've got to have clear rulers when you're sewing. It's just imperative for marking and doing some work on your patterns. So I have this guy from Dritz, this nice blue one, and then I have a wider and longer one from Fiskars, and I love them both, and I use them both all of the time. So that's really what I'm basing this video on, or what tools do I use all of the time. Trying to keep it in somewhat some order here. Let's go with, oh yes, rulers. So this is another little guy. This is 5/8 of an inch, which is perfect because our seam allowances are 5/8 of an inch. So to have a ruler that is already 5/8 is great, because otherwise you're like making sure you've got 5 of these little squares and it can be confusing. This came with this guy. Sorry to move over here, but, and this is great for curves. So if you want, this is 5/8 as well. So if you need to like mark off armholes or neck curves or whatever. So these should really go together, though I don't use this so much. I use this one. I will link this below where I got this. It's from Luna Graphics. Okay. I just sprayed some air freshener in my room from Velo Spa, and it's making me ill. Because I sprayed too much of it, I think, and my husband's shaking his head yes too, I think. And we can't open the window because you'll hear cars, and if I faint, it's because of Velo Spa, even though it's a wonderful scent, it's just too much. Lip gloss. Okay, so the next I've got these friction marking pins. These are really, really great. I love them. They disappear with heat, so when you iron over them, they're gone. I have not had any problems with it. Though some people in colder climates have said that the markings reappear when it gets really cold. I don't know. I haven't had that problem, but I live in Southern California. So if it's happened to you, let me know. Other marking tools that I like are these little chalk wheels. I got this set on Amazon for like $11 or $12. I think these are good. You know, it just really depends on what fabric you're using, what marking you want. Sometimes I just use basic bar soaps. It really depends on the fabric, but these I use a lot. Of course, you have to have a seam ripper. Unfortunately, these are necessary, and I like the clover ones. Speaking of sharp objects, I have my little X-Acto tool. I like to cut my buttonholes open with this. Now, I do have one of those buttonhole like blades that are specifically for buttonholes, but I don't like them. I prefer a nice sharp X-Acto knife. So we've got that. Oh gosh, I'm just finding all kinds of stuff. This is great. This is some Japanese thread. It's great for hand basting because it's thick, kind of thick, and it's bright. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. Next I have, let's talk about this. You're like, what is this? This is a Wet n Wild makeup brush, but I use it to go in and clean out the fuzzies in my, especially in my serger and in my cover stitch and also my sewing machine. So you just get in there and get it out. They say not to use canned air to actually clean out your machines because it will push the fuzzies back into the machine, supposedly, so you don't want to do that. And I found that that's how I do it. I find that using a cheap makeup brush is really helpful in getting the little bits out. Excuse me. Moving on, we have fray check. I use this a lot, especially when I'm securing the ends of my serging threads and various other things. Got to have fray check. Wonder clips are absolutely a necessity. These are just the Clover Wonder clips, but then I got these purple and yellow, bigger yellow ones. I got these at like the equivalent of Dollar Tree in Germany. I saw them and I was like, I gotta get them. So I have a tray full of clips. Iron cleaner. This Faultless has worked very well for me. I've tried some other brands, but this one works very well. I've got this bamboo point turner. It's not blood. That is just some marking pin. But this is a necessity if you're turning pointed things like collars. I've got some basting tape. So this is double-sided tape. So it's really great, especially when you're putting in a zipper, to hold that down. Love it. My favorite needles, hand sewing needles. I got these at Liberty in London. I think you could probably get them online, but they are really great quality, and you know, for the longest time I was just using like whatever needles I could find, like Walmart or whatever, and I thought, really, is it really gonna matter? Yeah, it does. Like, hand stitching with these is so much easier. I don't know why, but they're just so much more substantial. You'd think it wouldn't make that much of a difference. A needle's a needle, but honestly, it really does. Okay, and then I have this cool set. So I used to hate having to turn, like, you know, you sew a belt or some sort of tube, and you gotta like go in and try to like turn it inside out. Well, this thing is super easy. I'm just trying to see if I have a little piece to demonstrate, but I don't. But essentially, I guess I could use a tissue. That might kind of show you. So let's say you have this, like, but the concept is you've got your tube of fabric, right? And so you put it over this, and then you're putting a stick in, and it's not going to work because it's not sewn. And then it comes out over the stick inside out. So like it turns it out to the right side just like you want. I mean, I don't know if that's demonstrated. My husband, who's an mechanical engineer, is looking at me like, you're an idiot. Sorry. But anyway, let me try this again. You put the fabric over it so it's right side out, then you jam the stick in basically, and then it comes out over I can do a video if you want to demonstrate or Google it, but it's called Turn It All. And this set is really great and I love it. I love it. So I have to have that. And this, I don't know what I was doing with that. Sorry. Okay, I have dental floss because I love to floss my teeth when I sew. No, not really. No, I'm an idiot. I like to gather using the dental floss method, and that's, you know, zigzagging over dental floss inside the seam, and then you pull the dental floss to make the gathers. I will have to tell you, get the cheap, like, thick brand. Don't get the, like, Super Glide silky, because if you do, it's just going to tear it up. You got to get the really, like, gritty, thick kind. It's usually the cheapest kind they sell. So I always have dental floss. Let's go on to pins now. I love these silk glass pins. They're glass head pins. They're fine and they're for silk. Sorry. These are amazing. And my favorite pins are these glass heads. They're found in the quilting section at Joann's, and the little glass heads come in like this turquoise and this like little yellow, pale yellow color. So they come in the shorter length, and then there's longer. I think they're made by Clover. They might be made by Dritz. I'll double check, and I will put them. I'm going to put all of these items in the description box below, okay? And I have to have a magnetic pin cushion because it's just like you just throw your pins and they catch on. Or if you're sweeping up your workspace floor and you want to just hover over the little bits that you've swept up and boom. And sometimes the bits go with it. At least you got your pins off the floor, right? Alright. Next is on the cutting tools. I have my favorite scissors, which are Kai, and they're Japanese. These cut like butter. I love them. And then for finer or more slippier fabrics, I have these Gingers, and they're micro-serrated, so the micro-serrations help keep the fabrics from slipping. So these two are really great. And then I have these other little nippers from Ginger when you want to do more you know, finer clipping or close up or delicate, whatever. I can't speak. Actually, these were recommended in a tailoring book or a shirt making book, and I bought them, and they're really great. I love them. I also recommend a rotary cutter. This is from Olfa, and you'll need a cutting mat, which I have here. Cutting mats in order to use a rotary cutter, but these are really good. They're time savers when it comes to cutting out patterns, and you can get in those little curves like the armholes better, I think, than you can with just plain scissors. So do get some rotary cutters. Oh god, that scent. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Okay. This should have been in my ruler category, but this is like, it's called the styling ruler. It's from Dritz. I have no idea what's online. But this is like if you need to like smooth out a hip curve on a pattern, and you could use this side for necklines and armholes. You've got to have one of these. You just do. And now we're moving on to the ironing section. I have a lint roller because that's really helpful in cleaning up my ironing board from all the little bits that are left on. So, gotta have a lint roller. And then I have this it's a ironing ruler, so it's like felts kind of. So what you do is you just like fold your fabric up to the marking, and then you can iron it. And I use this all the time. I really like it. So let's get that tissue to demonstrate. Come on, tissue. So let's say you want it at like an inch. So you just go fold it up to the inch line, and then you press it. See? It's so great. It's by Clover. You gotta have it. I have to have a water bottle because sometimes wrinkles don't like to come out. So you gotta just spritz them. And then Best Press, this is a starch alternative, so if you need to give your fabric some more body when you're ironing, or to help press it into place. Best press. I really like this stuff. And then I absolutely can't live without my seam roll and my ham when pressing. This is really important when you're pressing out darts. Gotta have that, and then this is great for like armholes and other things too. So ham and seam roll, definitely. And then this is a little mini, it's a little mini ironing board. Well, it is. It's a sleeve board. So, like it says, when you're ironing a sleeve or maybe a tighter space, you have this nice narrow space in which to get in there and press it out. So these are all of my sewing must-haves. If you have any questions about them, just leave me a comment, or I'd like to hear what your sewing favorites are, because I'm kind of a gadget junkie. I love tools and things that are going to make my husband shaking his head yes. Things that are going to make my life easier. So leave me your favorites in the comments below, and then my next video will be on my favorite sewing feet, because I think feet are so helpful in getting the job done, and I have amassed a little mini collection with my Bernina. So I'll go over all of the feet that I own and what feet are my favorites in a video soon to come. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like my ridiculous videos, and follow me on Instagram so you can see my little bits as I go along. And thank you very much.